Okay, so the leg part 2. So as we had in the hand, we said that pollicis meant thumb, hallucis means big toe. Okay, and again, mini-me is the pinky toe, so that you are aware. All right, so now we're moving on to the leg, the ankle, and the foot. Remember, up here is the thigh, the leg is below the knee, ankle and foot. So we have the soleus. The soleus is going to plantar flex your foot. So it's going to point your toes. Okay, plantar flexion means to point your toes. So plantar flexes your foot. The fibularis longus is going to also plantar flex your foot, but it also has the ability to evert your foot. So if you'll remember back to our special movements, inversion was taking the heels, the soles of your feet and putting them together. That's inversion. Eversion was taking them and kind of putting them outward toward the sides. So it everts, and that makes sense because if you look at where it's at, it would pull that direction. Because remember that your fibula is always lateral. Tibia is always medial. The tibialis anterior is going to dorsiflex your foot and invert. So dorsiflexion, remember dorsal, like the dorsal fin of a shark means the back. Well, if you're standing, the top of your foot is dorsal. So dorsiflexion means to bring your toes up toward your knee. So to dorsiflex your foot, to invert, bring the soles of your feet together toward the middle. The extensor digitorum longus. Extensor, extend. Digitorum, in this case, toes. Longus, because it's a long muscle. This is actually going to extend your 4 toes other than your big toe. So it extends the 4 lateral toes. It dorsiflexes, brings your toes up toward your knee, and everts your foot. Okay, evert, exit. So the sole of your foot is going out toward the side. The extensor hallucis longus. Remember, hallucis means big toe. So in this case, it's going to extend your big toe. It dorsiflexes, it brings that toe up toward your knee, and it inverts. So it brings your feet facing the middle together. The fibularis pterysis, I believe is how you pronounce it. It dorsiflexes, brings your toes toward your knee, and it everts. So instead of in, it's taking the soles of your feet out. The gastrocnemius is going to plantar flex your foot, points your toes. Now your toes aren't coming up toward your knee, they're going downward, and it flexes the knees, so it bends your knee. And soleus we just talked about over here. So this is a lateral view, so you're looking from the side, from this direction, okay? A lot of these we've already talked about. We talked about the gastrocnemius, we talked about the soleus, the fibularis longus, the fibularis brevis, and that's a tendon, so I'm not gonna worry about that. The tibialis anterior, did we talk about that? Yeah, we did. Tibialis anterior, the extensor digitorum longus, and the fibularis tertius. Oh, tertius. That's how you pronounce it, tertius. Okay, I wrote it down. Okay, something else I wanted to kind of warn you about. So in this class, we're using the term fibularis, which to us makes sense because of the fibula. But peroneus is another name for that. So if you see peroneus longus, it's the fibularis longus. It's just that they're using peroneus instead. Just to kind of to keep you in the loop, I guess, I want you to know that if you see that word, it's just the fibularis. It's just a different name that they're using. I won't. I'll keep with the fibularis because I think that makes more sense. Okay? So the tertius, that's how you say that. Okay, so in this particular picture, they have the Extensor Digitorum Brevis. This is the only picture where they have that. But to me, again, I think that this is kind of a jumbled picture to have that if I actually want to know what I'm looking at. So I gave you another picture. We have the Extensor Hallucis Brevis, which if you look, Hallucis means big toe. And where does it go? To the big toe. So it's going to basically extend your big toe, right? Now, the Extensor Digitorum Brevis, the digits, that's going to be toe 2, 3, and 4. It's actually going to extend those toes, okay? So we're talking no big toe, no pinky toe. All right, so posterior view, you're looking at somebody from the back. There's that gastrocnemius, there's the soleus behind it, and the calcaneal tendon. This is the Achilles tendon. This is what most people call the Achilles tendon. Excuse me. Sorry, I need water. I've been talking nonstop for quite a while now. Okay, so tibia is a bone. We talked about the gastrocnemius. The plantaris, look at the name, plantaris. It plantar flexes your foot. So it points your toes, it flexes the knee. The popliteus here, popliteal means the back of the knee. So it actually is in the back of the knee. It flexes the knee, so it bends your knee, and it medially rotates your leg. Remember, this part is the leg, so it medially rotates it toward the middle. Okay. A little bit deeper, again, we've got bone, tibia, and fibula. You've got the flexor digitorum longus. Flexor, automatically it's going to flex something. It flexes the 4 lateral toes, so not your big toe, but the other 4, including your pinky toe. It plantar flexes, so it points your toe, and it inverts, brings your foot in, the sole of your foot in. The tibialis posterior is going to plantar flex, point your toe, and invert, bring the soles of your feet inward. The flexor hallucis longus. Hallucis, so who's going to be involved? The big toe. It flexes the big toe, and it plantar flexes, points your toe, and inverts, brings it in the soles of your feet. Okay? Okay, so the intrinsic muscles of the foot, so the muscles of the foot. There are several muscles that are mentioned and shown in these pictures, but again, they're so buried that you can't really see them real well. So I decided to add some pictures to try and kind of highlight them and show you where they are. So the dorsal interossei, you can see them right here, okay? They abduct, okay? Abduct, take away. The second, third, and fourth toes. So this one, and this one. Not the pinky toe, not the big toe. Now the plantar interossei, that's misspelled, it should have an L there. It adducts, bring together, okay, the third, the fourth, and the fifth toes. So in that case, that's going to be this toe, and your pinky toe, the fifth toe, okay? The quadratus plantae, which is here, it assists the flexor digitorum longus in flexing, bending, the 4 lateral toes. So everybody except for the big toe. And then the lumbricals. Remember I said we've got that in both places, the hands and in our feet. So this will be lumbricals in the foot. okay? The lumbricals are going to flex proximal and extend the middle and distal phalanges. So, I don't know how to explain that. I'll find a video that can explain that better, because I don't want to tell you something wrong, and I'm scared I'm going to tell you something wrong. Okay, moving on. Although, as I've said a bazillion times by now, you don't need to know the functions. Just know, be able to identify them in a picture. Okay, so we have the So this is the second picture. So this is actually the deeper picture. I don't know why it's out of order. The other picture should have been first, but that's okay. Oh, that's why. I hit the button twice. Sorry. Okay, so again, we've got the lumbricals. Like I said, the reason that I got that picture is because you can actually see them in this picture. This is the not the dorsum, the plantar side of your foot. This is the underside of your foot. Both pictures for the foot are from the underside. So these are kind of the more superficial muscles. You've got the flexor hallucis brevis. Again, flexor, it's going to flex something. Hallucis is your big toe. It's going to flex your big toe. So flexor digiti minimi brevis. Minimi, pinky toe. So it flexes your little toe. Flexor hallucis longus tendon. So it's just the tendon, don't worry. Flexor digitorum brevis. That's this one right here, okay? It flexes the lateral four toes, so not the big toe, but everybody else. Abductor hallucis. Remember that abduct means to take away, not to bring together. So it's going to abduct the big toe. Abductor digiti minimi, baby toe, pinky toe. It's going to abduct and actually flex that pinky toe. And then the plantar aponeurosis is going to be a tendon, so don't worry about that. Now, the second picture. Again, a lot of this we've talked about, but like the adductor hallucis, we've talked about that. These are the tendons, so I'm not worried about that. We've talked about the lumbricals. The flexor digiti minimi brevis. Flexor, bend. Minimi has to be the pinky toe. It flexes the pinky toe. That's what it does. The plantar interossei, which I showed you that other picture of, it adducts, brings together the third, fourth, and fifth toes. So these three. The abductor digiti minimi, we've already talked about. The flexor hallucis longus tendon, so I'm not worried about that. I want you to know the muscles. Tendons. The flexor hallucis brevis. Flexor, bend, hallucis, big toe. Bend your big toe. Quadratus plantae. It assists the flexor digitorum longus in flexing the lateral four toes. So not the big toe, but the other four, flexing those. Okay, and then the last thing here is a tendon, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's the second lecture on the leg, including the hip, that is the shoulder, no, okay, hip girdle. There we go. That was the word I was looking for, or the two words I was looking for. Okie doke.